Well, the fact that China wants changes in the world is old news. And actually, there is nothing wrong with this, but what should these changes be look like? So that they suit both the West and East? How to, I will ask this question in otherwise. China is a big power. How the world, what should the world offer it to be, I don't know, like to offer it a place in the new world, in a brave new world, to become a partner of China, for us to become, as Europe and what the world calls itself civilized, somewhat civilized. What can we offer? Let's trade. Let's make China a friend of Ukraine, a friend of Europe, a friend of civilized world. Maybe we should change the rhetoric. Maybe we should change the politicians. Maybe we should find, I don't know, another source of power in China, and not only Xi Jinping, because he is not the only one for sure.
It's a complicated issue.
Oh, yes,
also I think China is a country that, frankly, I don't understand very well. I think we have to make our priorities clear. We have to be in the communication clear. What we can remind China here also of is that China has actually supported the Budapest Memorandum in 1994. So the Budapest Memorandum was about the agreement that then was signed when Ukraine gave away its nuclear weapons. And the original...
Do you think that was a mistake?
That's difficult to say now. I mean, it looks like that to many Ukrainians now, but I'm not sure something else was possible then. Perhaps Ukraine could have then simply said, either we get into NATO or we don't give away our weapons.
So that is a sort of a political blackmail.
Yeah, but I think the West would have taken then.
Yes,
Ukraine,
absolutely, because this is the language, obviously, that West understands way better than.
Yeah, and the priority back then was so high to get the nuclear weapons out of Ukraine. But the problem then is, of course, that in Ukraine, in the Ukrainian population, there was no majority and no demand for NATO protection. Then this is the. So it's a sort of if
back then.
Yeah, in 1994, right. This large support for NATO accession only emerged after the annexation of Crimea. Unfortunately, there was. So, but China was a part of this deal. It actually gave a separate governmental document to Ukraine, where it also assured Ukraine of its respect for its borders, and it signed in 2013 with Yanukovych back then a friendship treaty with Ukraine, and this friendship treaty was then ratified, I think, in Ukraine when Turchinov was president, and in China when Poroshenko was president. So China has, unlike Russia, accepted the state continuity of Ukraine, because Russia says that basically the new Ukraine that emerged after the Euromaidan revolution is not any longer the old Ukraine. That's why it does not observe all the treaties it has with the old Ukraine. But China has actually accepted the state continuity, and of course this Russian claim is absolutely absurd. So these are maybe the sort of things that one can today refer to in sort of building a relationship with China. One of the problems that Ukraine here has is that there's a lot of sympathy for the Ukrainian cause in Taiwan. And then there is some sort of reciprocal sympathy from Ukraine, some sort of gratitude towards Taiwan, and that is, of course, then becomes a very touchy issue for Beijing.
So what to do?
I don't know. It's complicated. As I said, as long as China remains.
I'm sorry for pushing you to the answer because I don't know. I'm talking to experts. It's my job, And experts are very. They talk a lot.
Yeah.
They are, but everyone says, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
it seems like the world was completely not ready for. You cannot be ready at a mayhem at that level, but at least something. And that is what actually frightens me the most. That we don't have a plan.
Yeah, I mean, the most obvious thing now to do is to support Ukraine as much as possible with
That
more,
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, with more weapons and with different weapons, not just the ones we've so far provided. I hope that finally Germany comes around with these Taurus missiles. This is now after the US has now, actually 3 countries have now, Great Britain, France, and the US have already provided this type of weaponry. So I think it's now time also for Germany to go ahead. But yeah, with China, I'm not sure what to do.
Okay.
I mean, this is also something that is apparently changing now. What I hear is that China actually is facing a lot of problems, economic and demographic problems. So maybe the China in 5 years will not be any longer the China that we have today in mind.
Maybe that's another revelation. Maybe the dragon is not that big and